live and ready to roll. If you guys are in the chat, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, you guys. Hello, Say. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm just double checking that I am live. So take a second to get used to the live, the chat, whatever it is you guys need. I'm signing into my YouTube right now because that is usually how I double check that you guys are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Do you see what I see? Oh, I also busted open an acai bowl from my freezer, and of course I didn't finish it. Very much like me. All right, my computer's running a little slow. It looks like you guys are here. Sorry. I took one more bite because I was like, it's going to be melted by the time I'm done. Okay. Hello, welcome to the live chat, and I like to see what you guys are seeing. If you're new here or you watch this in the future, just fast forward to when I sit down at my iPad. For those of you watching live, unfortunately, you cannot do that. All right, so I am live. We are good. I'm going to play it really big for you guys, or for me to see in the corner so I know exactly what my layout is. Okay, see, there I am. Hello! Okay, so I've already pre-made printing out my sticker sheets because that takes a really long time. It took me about 15 minutes to get it done. Hello to Sarah. Hello to Say Studios. Thank you for joining the chat live. A reminder, if you have to go at any time, this will be saved, so you don't have to worry about that. I am going to plug in my phone. It was the last thing I needed to do, and she didn't do it, did she? She's such a failure when it comes to plugging things in. All right, me and technology. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? All right. So I want to first rest assure everybody this is easy to do for beginners. I am still a beginner. Second of all, if you did not read the description, it has the links to my Amazon list, which is basically my little storefront of where I share what I've ordered, what works for me. And there's my Meownager right on time. Hi, Thor. Come on in, buddy. Don't worry. Could have come in at any time, but we had to do it right when I went live. Again, a stay-at-home artist. This is what life is. Okay, so you'll hear Thor from time to time meow and want in and want out, so I apologize for that. All right, so tonight I wanted to remind you, one, there are so many ways to make sticker sheets. This is not the only way, okay? I've said it here. You guys can come back and be like, yeah, she said it right from the get-go. There's so many ways to make sticker sheets. You can make them on silhouettes. You can make them with different types of printers, different types of ink, different types of paper. Everything I'm going to tell you is my settings and what I've learned. Also, I want to give shout outs to Catnip, K-A-T-N-I-P-P. She is the artist who broke it down in the most understandable way. However, the certain settings she has when she goes to print, I had to figure out my own. So everything I'm going to teach you works with the items I'm using and works with Procreate. If you don't have Procreate and you can do it on Photoshop, fantastic. I only have Procreate. That's all I know. So we're going to be learning, not these sticker sheets. You guys can apply this to anything you want to draw. I'm going to show you how to make a little layout. These are going to be my large sticker sheets. Now, if you've never worked with Cricut, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to want to throw your Cricut across the room. You're going to think your Cricut is ruined. It's not. It is literally all their programs they're updating. Is the Cricut connected? Is this? Is that? It's so frustrating. I have learned just to breathe. It took me 3 straight weeks to figure it out. And even when I figured it out, it didn't work the next week. So be ready to try new things. I'm going to teach you a few different tips that worked for me. And then after about a week, that thing didn't work anymore. And I had to think of something else. Now it's gotten to the point where I'm going really fast now, which is why I decided instead of just having you watch a tutorial where I can't answer your questions, we have a live chat. The only way to join the live chat and ask your questions right now, and hopefully I can answer them, is to join the live chat by signing into your free YouTube account. You don't even have to subscribe to me. I'm not even gonna force you, but if you'd be so nice to subscribe to me, I'm here for you guys. I mean, I'm also an artist looking for quick answers. Tonight's tutorial, obviously if you come back and rewatch, you can fast forward rewind, pause, whatever you need to do once the live is going, which it is right now. You just can't fast forward to where I'm at right now. Okay, I promise I did not want to do a giant intro. I just want to state, I do not know everything, okay? I don't think I do, and I definitely have more to learn. And as updates come, or as your knife starts to get duller, I'm gonna have to learn when my knife is too dull, when it's not the program, when it's not the Cricut, it's the actual knife. I will let you guys know everything I'm using as we move to the Cricut. First, let's just do our layout. A 4x6 is a great size. This, I believe my canvas is an 8x10 right now. It can't even cut an 8x10. I can shrink it down. Yeah, they really are finicky things. They really, really are. Canvas information, dimensions. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is 4.9, 6.5. Which is weird because I don't remember making that layout, but hey, we're just gonna go with that. So that's my settings if you wanna try to make it the same. But again, you can expand and shrink this in the Cricut program. This is Procreate. This is not a Procreate tutorial. If you wanna learn things with me, you can join my Art Hero Monthly, Critterosity, Ink and Paint, and I teach you guys things like, I don't know, even how to make sticker sheets. It's just that I'm offering this live because I got so frustrated with it. I don't want anyone to feel the way I did. But they learn how to make repeat patterns. They've learned how to just draw on paper, different characters, character design, etc. Every single month I come to them with either craft projects or different things to do. So if that's something you would like, you can go into my Procreate tutorials. This is more like, we're not talking Procreate. I'm just showing you how to set it up in Procreate. Apply what you want into other programs you might have, other drawing programs. As long as it has layers, you're pretty much good. Okay, so that's my canvas setting. Again, you can rewind at any time starting now. You can pause at any time. You just can't go forward while I'm live. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for stopping by and watching. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if you learned from it. But chatting in the live chat is going to be the way I answer questions live and not through a comment. And if you know me, I'm a talker. You probably already learned. I am not very good at typing. It is just not my strong suit. I'm really bad at explaining. I'm better with my hands and showing live. So hopefully someone asks the questions you're asking. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is turn a white background on, get your canvas ready, whatever size that may be for you. And most of you are gonna know the Cricut already. You're like, okay, just show me how to do this layout. So I brought in a character. Obviously I have this whole thing upside down right now. Now, if I tell you we need to draw an offset line, do not use the offset when you're making, unless you're really good at it, go for it. But I could not do a sticker sheet in Cricut. There's no way. Absolutely not. That would take forever. I have no interest. People use the offset little key and they kind of shrink it and makes a little white border around the edges. It did not work well for me. I was trying to do the Kiss Cut sticker sheets. I was having so many issues. So for those of you that want to do it in a different program, you can turn your background off. I mean, I can see where my line is. The other thing you can do is change your background color to something just darker. Okay, and I picked one character just to show you how I did it. I'm going to white, how white that is. You can grab an actual formula to get a perfect white. I don't really care because meh. I go to inking. I go to Studio Pen. All right, oops, I double tapped it. All right, I'm on Studio Pen. It's a nice pen. I usually go a little thicker with it so that I don't have to sit there and draw the tiniest lines in the world. And if you've ever seen drag and drop, okay, it just wants me to continue filling, but it's not working for me. It hates me right now because I'm live. Heaven forbid the live work. Okay, color drop. I don't know why. Sometimes it works great. Do you see this? Do you see the magic of my life? I'm doing the color filling. There we go. All right, so what I was trying to show you guys was drag and drop. And it just, you saw how quickly it just jumped to that. So continue filling, sure. I guess I'll do it that way. I'm used to dragging and dropping. That's all you're doing for the background. For the little line, your Cricut needs to know where to go. If you leave it like this, what's gonna happen, and I'm just gonna kind of give you an example, it's gonna blur those lines like this when it goes to either print out or it won't read them and it'll just blur the outline and there's no line. So to give it a line, I have tried it in other colors. I've tried to match my background color when I added canvas colors. I don't now. I'm like, I'm wasting ink. I love my customers, but I'm very honest with them. If I'm going to lose ink and it's a piece of paper you're going to throw away when you're done peeling the stickers off, you don't use all that. The only thing that you're using is whatever color kind of is bordering this. That's the only color that's going to go with the character. So to save myself on money as a small shop, as cool as I think backgrounds are, they're not necessary. They're absolutely not necessary. You still get the character. You're going to peel it off and you're going to end up throwing the excess probably away. But you can use cute little fillers, make hearts or polka dots or whatever in the background. So the good news about your Cricut is that you can make these super close together. I don't know if you guys know about companies that will say it has to be 1/4 of an inch separated. That's to save them time and money, I'm sure. So I fill every little nook and cranny with things. So let's just bring in one more thing as we do this. I'm gonna insert a little photo, and my little photo will be of this little right here. Okay, so I'm just shrinking this one down really little. So you can even get, like, as long as your Cricut can cut around it, you're good to go. Okay, what we do is we're gonna go to a layer. These technically, imagine they're not there. I'm gonna keep it because we're gonna look at that in a minute. I'm gonna make a new layer underneath the characters. These characters, once I have my layout done, I can just merge it. I get my studio pen that's white. I'm on the layer underneath the characters. Underneath. Okay, not on the same one. I am just going to go around. Now, if you don't want little like pieces that maybe are gonna rip off when they are pulling it, I do suggest filling in areas like that to be, see, that's all I wanted it to do earlier. I kind of want it to group together and have that peel off, but you're gonna have that whole color be white. So just letting you guys know, be thoughtful of how they're going to peel off your page so you know where to put the border for it to cut. So if I was to do this character now, I didn't do this before because I tried to get all fancy. I'm just drawing an outline. I don't lift up my pen, but every now and then I do in case I mess up. It'll only take me back to there. If you try to get the whole thing in one shot and screw up, you tap it, it's all going to disappear. So it is good to stop every so often and fix it. So you see that? It's going to try to find the edge of that, and then it's going to leave this weird negative space. If you want that, great. If you don't want that, I would say fill that part in. Anything where there's a gap, I would fill in. If you don't, you can just try to make it a little less obvious, maybe, and then you can have that, but it will cut out the negative space. So anywhere you don't have white, just remember it's an outline. It's not cutting all the white out. It's going to as close to the edge as it can. So the more you stay close to your edge, that's how close the Cricut is going to cut. I don't make them super precise. I just kind of eyeball it because I'm an impatient girl. Maybe this is a Gemini trait. I don't know. But I like to get things done and let things get done fast. If you want to try, you can even get right close to the edge to where, I mean, you are going to sit there forever trying to make it perfect. So there's that way. And you go around the entire character and then fill it in. I'm going to show you that in a second. The other option is your select tool. You can definitely go around, you know, and do it this way. I just find my select tool is actually hard. I like to see the line as I'm doing it. So let's do that one now. I'm gonna do it the way I'm suggesting to you guys to do it. I am not gonna take my time. You guys wanna learn quick. I know you're like, just give me the deal and let me move on with my life. Greg and I had to watch a tutorial on how to use our new device that I haven't told everybody, so don't say anything. Some of my subscribers know what it is. And when we went to use it, this person took almost 40 minutes to get into the actual tutorial. So I was like, I need to talk a little, but not a lot. All right, now something to note, and this is why I love using these characters as a reference. Okay, let's say I want to fill that in because I wanted to just cut the whole edge out. Things like this, little tricky things that might show up. We have two ways to get rid of those. Whoops, I'm on the back layer. You can erase them when you notice them. Okay, the other option is in Cricut. So I'm going to actually leave that to show you guys a trick. Maybe some of you know it, maybe you don't, but I find it extremely helpful. When you do this one, you don't want to start over here because remember, this is the edge. So you want to be as close to the next character to give it room. Oh, see, she's not on the right layer. She's getting lost here. So I just kind of surround it, and you can always raise and lower this line. You can make it different sizes. It will look blurry because you're all zoomed in. Just remember, it's not going to be that blurry. And if you're really worried about edges, I would maybe talk about slightly sharpening the edges with the sharpening tool, but I have never done that and it still finds the edge. So if it blurs the white line, when it prints, if anything happens to this edge, the good news is it's reading that as the cut line, not your character. Again, go ahead and do it without a cut line and it will totally screw up. I've done it now twice, forgetting that I need to draw white backgrounds. If you drag a different color in here, you can certainly try it. I have had no luck. For some reason, it doesn't seem to read it. I don't know why that is. I'm definitely still trying, and one time I did my background purple and I made the line blue or purple, thinking, okay, it knows where the edge is, because if I submit it as two separate layers, if I submit the actual purple background is this, let's say this color, this rose color, and I hide that, doesn't it know where the cut lines are? So again, something I'm still messing with. Maybe you guys leave in the comments like, oh yeah, no, it should be separate. It wasn't cutting. It was like reading it as one big block, even though I brought them in Cricut Design in separate layers. So how have I gotten around this? I leave the background transparent so it prints out white on the paper, and the cut lines are white. And like I said, it's something I'm willing to give up and not worry about, to say to the customer, you're getting my characters as a sticker. That's good enough right now. When I get down the road, maybe I'll figure out why it's doing that to me. I don't know. But maybe it doesn't read that. I've seen people have backgrounds on their stickers. So that's not this tutorial. I'm just showing you how to cut out with a basic PNG background. You guys can go back and mess with those kind of things on your own later. The reason we have a dark background is just so we can see the white. If the background was white, we probably couldn't tell where our cut lines are. So that's why I always use a dark background. Your background should be its own layer, background. You should have a layer of all of your white cut lines and then a layer of your characters so you can draw all your white in the back. Next thing you're gonna wanna do, watch this. Once you're happy with it, you pinch those layers together. It is now on one layer. And again, I'm like, doesn't it have to be separate layers so it cuts one and it prints one? But no, the program knows that. So if you go to export it, once you're done, okay, I can see it. I know it's hard to see where the lines are. If I had filled this whole thing up with a bunch of designs, I will go to my tool in Procreate and I will share it as a PNG. That means the background is transparent. You can't see the background. You can just see the characters. I'm gonna save the image. All right, so now that sample one is done, just so I can show you guys how you remove things like little dots and stuff in case you forget them or you don't notice them. There's so many times I screw up. Your machine will probably just go like really fast, but they'll show up as little dots on the page. And if you want to be super professional, I'm still learning. My amazing supporters know I'm still learning. I don't think they're sitting here judging every single sticker sheet I put out, but over time I'm learning like how to fix those. So now I've saved it as a PNG. Again, if this was just a normal color of what it's gonna look like, that would be my sticker layout. Okay, so there you go. There's the first thing you need to know. I have set up my entire file ready to print. When I was doing this one, oh, you can. I was gonna say, I wish you could see the background, but I think it's all merged. Nope. So this is where I went around and cut every single little piece out. Sometimes if you're stretching out your design and closing it back down, then pulling it bigger, then closing it down, it's gonna change the sharpness of it. So usually before I print, and I've got my die cuts pretty much laid out, even though it's Kiss Cut, they look like little die cut stickers laying on a page. I'll go up to my little adjustments, I'll click on sharpen, and I'll kind of drag and sharpen it just a little bit sometimes, because as you're stretching them and you're making them smaller and bigger and you're trying to place them, they can get blurry. So that is another thing. Usually try to bring the picture in and make one solid choice. Try to. It won't always happen. But if I brought this character in, I don't want to go, okay, that's good, turn it off, and then go, oh wait, I want him bigger now. You've already kind of screwed up your pixelation by making it really small. It stuck. It said, oh, okay, you want it smaller? fine. But once you keep squashing, stretching, squashing, and trying to move them around, it's going to start to mess with the pixelation. So it's best to try to know exactly where you want them at first and only go smaller from there. Try not to keep going bigger. Because yeah, you're just pulling those pixels. Imagine putty, you know, like if you put a picture on putty and you start to stretch it, it starts to squish. All right, so this is the image I technically want in Cricut. We're now going to move to Cricut. That's all you need Procreate for. That's it. To add a white background and put them on the same layer. That's it. That's all. That's all you need Procreate for. There's no other reason. How much is Procreate? I think it's like still $9.99. One time. I've never paid it anything again since 2017. How much was my iPad? It was refurbished. It's older. Still doing the job, still working. And I think for every single thing in this package to get this thing as a refurbished, I think it was like $400 once I paid for insurance, got the pen, got her pencil and everything. Just saying, it can be cheap. And if you've learned through me, I'm going to sit here and preach it. I don't get any kickback from any of these companies. I'm just showing you exactly what I use. All right, so now you need to set up a canvas, right? And you go into your canvas. I already have something that was kind of here. All right, so I don't want that. I want a new canvas. Even though I already have these images in here, I'm going to select from my photo library and I'm going to bring in that new one that I just made, even though it's not really what I want. This is what it's going to do first. Some people don't know how to do a PNG, or they didn't remove the background. They don't know how to. Maybe they have a background remover and it's doing a terrible job and it's all pixelated. They offer a chance for you to use their thing to apply it. I just cancel out a background remover because I've already done it. That's what all these little squares are. You can always kind of zoom in and see kind of where my lines are. I hit apply because it's already done. Now you have all these options. Eva, what are all these different options? I don't even know, so I don't touch it. I just go right to creates a single layer full color image, the print then cut projects with a home printer. They've changed this verbiage a lot since I've had the Cricut, since really January when I started messing with it. And this used to say print then cut. Now it doesn't. It puts it in here, but it's called flat graphic. And what it's going to do is it's going to read each image as a flat little piece. So it just basically is going to cut around the edge, but it's going to print it first. If you do this, let's find out. Let's find out what it does. Single layer creates a simple one color image or silhouette. I feel like that would work too, but this offers you the print then cut. So this is allowing you to print it first and then bring it to Cricut. So it's prompting Cricut to get ready that you're about to print it. It offers you to print it. This, I believe, it just cuts it. So if you want to mess with those and see what it offers you, go for it. I don't do it. See this word beta? You got that? That word beta right there? That's evil. Just kidding. I do not like it. I don't like beta. I'll let everyone else go into beta, test it out, give their thoughts. They're all probably advanced. Maybe they're intermediate. They know what they're talking about. I don't. I just know how to print sticker sheets right now and cut out vinyl. I'm very basic, okay? I avoid beta now like the plague because this is what got me so screwed up. Flat graphic right there, done. If it says print then cut, that's what you want. So we hit next. That would work if you had it printed with the guidelines already. So I think what Say is saying is if I had already done it and I'm just coming back to it, maybe something like that. But if you need to print it, then cut it. Okay, so we're going to let Say let us know, because here's the thing. I don't know everything. Say's got a Cricut, and there you go. The single layer one, or if it was vinyl only. So that's my thing is, if I had 20 of these printed out the other day, I had to leave my house. I stopped doing the print then cut feature. They're all printed in one big stack. I'm asking you, Say Studios, would I just select that and it would just read the outline? And it wouldn't worry about offering me to print it. It would just cut it. Is that what you're saying? We don't know. So that's why I'm letting you guys have an open conversation here. Maybe you're going to teach me something I didn't know. You can type it in. So I'm going to call this one sample. You can also remove pictures you don't want. So I'll remove it later. I said layer. Secret layer. All right. So now it brings it in. And I do not want these guys over here. Sorry, I thought you guys were in there. I zoomed in. There we go. All right. So for this one, I don't need these technically. I'm going to delete those. How you set up your canvas is up to you. I've kind of taught my little tutorial on how to set up a canvas, so you guys can check that out. Today is talking about settings and how to do it, and how I'm doing all of this. But setting up each canvas, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I taught my tutorial, because there's really only one way to teach it. In layers, I already have things set up ready to go. So when I'm doing 2 4x6 shapes, I am using I'm going to show you how I set it up. I go into, sorry, give me one second, edit. I'm still learning where everything is, shapes. The rectangle, if I can be so honest, the rectangle corners are not good. They really need to round them more. They have like a sharp corner on it. It's really bizarre. So I don't know if anyone knows there's a way to round them nicer, but they definitely have this weird sharp edge to the corner, and that's what they offer. So if you know of something else, when I pick the square, it keeps it more square, and when I pick the rectangle, it makes it more set up for what I'm going to do. You have to do a workaround, which is like that because of my printer. Got it. So as long as it knows the borders, you're good. The print then cut is helping you print it, then cut it, so it's all prepped. What they're saying is if you already have like 50 printed out, you could just pick the silhouette one where it's just the border and a black silhouette of the characters that you have. So thank you, Say, for sharing that. Again, I'm just going with exactly what I do. So thank you so much. There are so many ways to go about this. I've already had people yell in my comments at me or on my TikTok, like, that doesn't work. And I'm like, but I made it work. So don't be rude. There's gentle ways of letting people know, hey, I actually know a way around that. Hey, I actually know a faster way to do that. There's so many nicer ways of saying, oh, you can do that, but do you want to save time? Do this. So please don't yell at me in the comments. I'm just trying to be helpful here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You did the corner punch. Got it. So with this one, it's nice. It does have an angle. It's not the best, but it is an angle. I grab that little rectangle. I hit the edit. And then edit brings up this little bar right here. I'm gonna zoom in here. Whoop. And what I do is I set the size for it. And if it's a 4x6 that I want, if it's locked, it'll kind of keep it like that. But you can also hit the unlock button. I would like to say these things kind of irritate me from time to time. I try to grab things and I can't. But again, I'm making my own sticker sheets and not having to pay a company to do it. And that to me is worth everything. So I don't want to get upset, but on the iPad, it gets very frustrating. My desktop, unfortunately, has to be hardwired into the printer to find it. And my printer and my computer can't be near each other. So the iPad's where it's at, and that's what I'm doing. Okay, so there's a 4x6. You can see I lay them on their side. What people have told me is even if you leave this here and it's the only thing on the canvas, it's going to automatically put it in the top left corner when you go to print. And that's great, but I actually like to have it in the top left corner. So I then keep that edit button open, make sure it's selected, and I rotate it 90 degrees. There you go. It's that easy. The edit button is your friend. You're going to be able to do a lot there. And then instead of dragging the corners, I grab it and I move it. See how I did that? Oh, it actually worked. Okay, I was going to be a little sarcastic. I drag it and I put it there. And again, imagine those things aren't there. I'm just showing you how I do that. And then the thing I'm going to tell you is you can't just cut it once. It won't cut out. And that was one of the biggest things I didn't understand. Everyone's little knives are dull or sharp or facing a weird direction, which we're going to talk about. Or you're using the fine point and I'm using the deep point blade. Like, we're all using different settings and the weather is different where you live and your altitude is different. So things might be different. But I live in pretty much sunny Southern California. Lately been pretty damp, but it's pretty much the same temperature here all the time. So it's rare when things change for us. But what I was going to tell you is I have to cut these out 10 times. And every time I add a rectangle, that is another cut around it. So my workaround is this. I'm going to drag it off. I'm going to say that I want to duplicate that 10 times. So I hit my duplicate button. You have to have your layers open. Okay, you have to have the layers button open to pull this up. All I did was duplicate these. I don't even size them up or put them in the right place. I literally just hit duplicate. You're going to hear a lot of people say that every time you duplicate, it won't lay it perfectly on it, which would be so smart of Cricut if they would just put it exactly where the other one is and let me choose if I don't want it there. But it's fine. Let's say I duplicate this 5 times because we'll go backwards and get rid of these. Once you've got all of them, instead of placing it here, guess what? When you hit duplicate, they're all going to jump out. So you might as well just do it wherever you are. I take my finger and I just drag across all of them. No. Yep. There you go. See what I'm saying? It's so frustrating. Okay. And then I hit edit. They have to be highlighted. They cannot be attached. There cannot be a little attach clip over them. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. You have to make sure they're just loosey-goosey up at the top. There's nothing connecting them. They just look like they're all there. If we attach it, it's going to take the word align away from me. So to unattach it, I just do that. So you highlight. You can grab anything you want with all of your fingers. It'll highlight anything you roll over. All right, so I roll over all of these. See, grab that character so that I don't want. I hit edit, align, and I hit center a few times. Center, center, center again, just to make sure we're good. But Eva, all the boxes are everywhere. They're all centered, just the computer hasn't caught up to what I've done. I tap off of it, and now you see they're all together. Now I grab all of them, and now I can move them all to that corner. See? There we go. It's frustrating. Like it feels like it doesn't want to read. And if you keep grabbing at different times, it might only grab one of them. So you want to make sure they're all together. And then I just put it in the top left corner till it can't go anymore. When I set up the next one, I would love to just be able to hit duplicate, right? And get all of them again. Oh, wait, I can. I just grab that one now and move it. So that first one that's been spread apart and I had to align it, I can now duplicate it and all 5 stay together of the new set. So, sorry, I'm used to Procreate. I always hit the 2 buttons to go back or 2 finger touch. Okay, so I aligned the ones I wanted. If I wanted 10 boxes to go around 10 times the cutting, reminder, 10 is the key for mine, whether it's vinyl or transparent sticker sheet. 10 is the key, even if I have to recut it, which again, we will get to. This is why it's a long live, because I'm going to talk you through everything you don't want to watch during the tutorials. Okay, so once we've aligned them and you grab them all, you can hit duplicate and it may lay it somewhere else, but those 5 are now connected. So it cuts down that process time. I used to make 10 and then align, then I'd 10 duplicate, and then I do the same thing and align it. No, once you've made your first cut of 10 boxes and aligned it, you can literally hit duplicate as long as they're all highlighted, and those it does group. I don't know why it doesn't do that when you hit duplicate on just the regular one and have it stack, but that's how it's done. So I get that one over, and I always leave a little bit of a space so it can get around. Now, how do you know you've gone too far? If you go to print, okay, if you go to print it right now, if I was like, okay, attach all of these and print them, all right, and I say attach, it's going to come up with a red exclamation point. It is usually user error, meaning you're the problem. And as my other friend said one time, it's whatever's happening between the chair and the desk, and that is you. So I have learned it's a me problem. It's not always the system. So sometimes I would not even notice the red exclamation point. I'm like, why isn't it offering me to print it? Why won't it print? It's because you're off the canvas. And I don't like that there is a 12 by 12 mat. You print on an 8.5 by 11 paper, but look how far down the canvas has to be. Look how far in the canvas has to be. So it's not a true 8.5 by 11. You're gonna waste all the edges because it doesn't let you make it the size of the paper. So this is telling you it's too big. So there's a way you can do it, and this is kind of what I do. When I just have one sheet, I just kind of grab and drag and stop and see if it goes away. And then when I get closer, again, this is if it's doesn't matter and I'm just trying to figure out a size. These obviously are 4 by 6 and have to stay that way. I keep going and you're gonna notice it's still red, meaning something is still too far to the right or too far to the left. I'm also zoomed out, so an 8 by 10 is actually like right there. So we know this is too big for the paper. Once that thing turns off, I kind of get my measurements by looking at edit, and I'm like, oh, 6.16 by 7.21. Okay, I wonder if I can go a little bit further out. And I just kind of go until the exclamation mark comes back. That's one way I do it. Two, someone will tell you the exact boundaries and you can just type them in. But there it is, it popped up again. So I now know my piece pretty much can't go bigger than that. So if you're gonna do what I did with the big piece, let's see here. All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna get rid of all these things that we just did. I'm just hitting the back button. Take it on back now. If you're gonna bring in a big piece, and just again, imagine like nothing else is here and I'm gonna print a huge page, you can always just kind of bring the rectangle and then test the rectangle out by grabbing the edge. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see why I get so frustrated? And if you go to attach it to print and it doesn't do it, you know, you like want everything to print together and you're like, attach it, bam. There it is again. You always have to attach it if you're going to do print then cut. You can't just not. And now nothing's working. And this will tell you why when I tell people the price of my sticker sheets, I'm like, do you see how much madness I have to go through to set them up? Okay, clearly you can also tap over here. I'm just wondering why the heck it's glitching now. You see this? Someone that knows is like, this is why. But yeah, so there you go. There is a corner. I didn't realize the corner was over there. So you can just kind of keep moving it until you find out why it's still a red mark. But that's just to give you guys an example. Obviously, I don't go in and do that. I just kind of get it set up in the corner. All right, so we're going to bring back this little character. And what I do is if that was like a whole sheet of the characters, I'm going to grab him. You can either touch there or there. And then I bring it over. I rotate it. Or you can use your edit button and say you want it 90 degrees. That'll turn it perfectly sideways. And then what you guys can do is you can keep sizing your character out. You know, you can shrink it by hand to make sure they're both on. You can kind of move it around and wait and find the center. It'll kind of pop up with the guidelines. You can do that, or you can hit edit. If you know your canvas is 4x6 on that little sheet of paper, you can go smaller and say, can it be 3.78? Is that too small? And you can start to see, let me turn these ones off. Done. There we go. I'm gonna turn off these little crystals so you guys can see. So this could even be a sticker sheet. Just a reminder, you don't always have to do teeny little stickers. You can do stickers that are all different sizes, including huge ones, and make little sticker sheets. I like the 4x6, that's like my favorite. So once you have it set where you want it, and you want to maybe make the exact same one, what I have found is making 2 different sticker sheets at the same time. You're going to get 2 done at the same time. So if somebody ordered this one and someone ordered this one and you print them out at the same time, fantastic. In this case, we're just going to duplicate that, move it over, and there you go. Bam. As long as you're not on the edge and your characters are within a space that gives you a little buffer, you can actually print this. Right now, it'd be ready to go. Obviously, you're seeing little spots that, you know, maybe a little filler would be good. Reminder, it needs the cut line around the edge. All right, so if I go to print this, reminder that we have all these squares, 10 on this one, 10 on this one. If I'm doing a big one like this, there's just 10 huge rectangles to fit in the canvas. Just can't have the red exclamation mark. So it's about that same size, but with the shape. So if I go back to shapes and I do this is just kind of how I guessed at figuring it out at the beginning. I'm like, okay, if both of those fit in the canvas, then this one just needs to be, you know, a little bit bigger. I don't know where the lines are to make it bigger. What's up with that? All right, so let's look at our dimensions here. This one could go maybe to about 6, and 6 plus 6. To me, that would be 12, right? But this is actually 6 here and 4 here. So you can go 4 and 4 is 8. So let's set this canvas. Let's use the edit tool. And let's do the width is going to be 6. Okay, there it goes. And the height, I've unlocked it so I can set it to whatever I want. The height is going to be set to 8. There you go. And then you can be like, okay, am I getting a red flag yet? Nope, not yet. So I can drag it maybe a little, but remember, it takes the little attachment tool that kind of tells you if it's too big, because attaching it tells you where the canvas is. So now what I would do is grab them all just by dragging, hitting attach with my little paper clip. Okay, I hit attach with the paper clip. And is there any kind of exclamation point? No. What if I drag it a little further? What if I want it a little bigger? Maybe the canvas can be even bigger than this. Here we go again. Bloop. Now that it's attached, I can try it. Don't hate me, guys. This is my life. Okay, maybe I go a little past 8 by 8. Do I get a little red flag? No, it can go even bigger. And again, you can keep doing it by number, or you can keep dragging it and seeing if it'll let you keep going before you get an exclamation point. So that's kind of how I figured out the exact thing. I know there's websites where you can literally type in the biggest it can go. I just didn't. I kind of tried to figure it out on my own. But yeah, this is why I tell you it's frustrating. Okay, boom, red exclamation mark, way too big. And that's where you can kind of just mess with it. And when it goes away, you know that you're still in good standing. Now you can bring in a photo from your library, or you can open uploaded images, which I already have it in here. I've already uploaded it before. I grab that one and I say add it to the canvas. One thing you need to know is if you don't hit view and that goes away, you're like, wait, how do I get back? There is like a back button, but what I do is I bring this over. Whoop, nope, whoop, nope. Okay, so part of the thing I'm gonna show you is if I get the details on that big one, all right, just pretending like those two little ones aren't there. I'm showing you how to set up a big canvas. If pretending those aren't there and I hit the edit button, it's gonna tell me exactly what the width and the height are, and also the location of it, the positioning. So if the height is 8.75, obviously you can't be that tall with this, or it'll be the exact same to the edge. So I usually just pick the numbers that are close to that, like 8.5 and 5.5. Let's try that. It may not be exact, but the thing is, I want to lock the tool, because if you shrink it down to any size you want, it'll start to squish and stretch it. So 5.5 is pretty close. Let's just do that one. And I locked it so that the dimension would fix automatically. Gosh, I can't talk. Would fix automatically without changing the way it is shaped. Now you're going to see that because I made the canvas in the background whatever I wanted, it doesn't really fit the size. So what you can do again is squash and stretch your canvas any way you like, as long as it doesn't show an exclamation mark. So maybe I need to bring it out. Maybe I need to bring it in. And reminder that if you have the lock on, it's going to keep the dimensions exact. Taking the lock off means you can stretch it and squash it however you want. So for the stickers, we want the lock on so it stays the same. For the shape, I want to be able to be kind of like free to move it however I like. And then I just kind of move this to where the little plus sign shows up right dead in the middle. Look at that. So now it's smack dab in the middle. You've got your canvas done. You need, this is a lot of the background, guys. Just a reminder, this is the background one I'm kind of hiding right now. I would want 10 of these rectangles. Duplicate, 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 10 times. That would be the only thing on the canvas is the rectangle and the stickers. You want it to say square. It's a rectangle, but it does say square. You want that 10 times down. And that's because when it's like that, when it's on there 10 times, it's going to cut around the edges 10 times. That's what you want. If it only says it once, it's only going to cut around it once. And that means you are going to be getting really frustrated. I didn't understand the cutting out part. So I set 10 of these. I would duplicate, 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 duplicate. You know what I'm saying? You want anything turned off that you don't want to print. Anything where the eyeball turns off, it won't print it. Even if you see it there, it's turned it off of the background. If I get rid of this rectangle, that's now gone and it's all these guys. You can also turn off an entire attachment. So I can get rid of those old ones and just bring what I'm working on. The more things you keep adding to the group, the more the memory is going to kind of start to slow down. It'll be like, wow, you're approaching a lot of layers. And you're like, okay. So it is good to set up and save your layers. Always save the project. So I'll call this one like large crystal squatch. And then that way it's already done. I can print it and make it now anytime I want. Once you set it up, save it. If you forget to save it, it's gone forever. You have to start all over again. It's really frustrating. So now you're seeing that there's no attachment here. So what I would do is I'd make sure I duplicate this 10 times, right? Remember, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eva, your exclamation point came back. Thank you so much for letting me know that. I appreciate you guys. Well, that means that it dropped it way too low, but we're going to center these, right? And it's probably going to jump it all over. So I select all of these. And what did I tell you guys? If they're attached, the align button will not show up for you. You have to unattach them, go to attach and hit the paper clip and it unattaches. Now I can do whatever I want to these guys. I do not want this one. I don't even know why these are here. But see, I don't want to move my sticker sheet. So I'm only touching the rectangles and leaving my sticker sheet where it is. All right, there's all of those. Now if I hit edit, they're not attached. There's no paper clip. I hit align. It's going to make them jump and I'm going to have to recenter it to the top left corner again. But I hit center a couple times to make sure it's good. Even with those lines, tap off of it. You can swipe and grab all of them. Just try not to grab that one. If you don't know if you did it right, you can see only the rectangles are grabbed, not the little sticker sheet. But you can always just tap on each one. But the fastest way to do it, I just grab like a corner. Then what I do is I move it in the top left corner. There you go. And it's ready. And my little sticker needs to move because I kind of did that. Now it's going to cut this and all of these. But what do I need to do? Drag and go over all of them. When they're all highlighted, just the ones I want, I hit the attach button. In order for it to print, it needs to be attached. It needs to know exactly what's going in this cutting. If you do attach, or if you don't do attach, watch what's going to happen. You highlight them all, right? And you're like, but they're all highlighted, but they're not attached. Watch what's going to happen. It's only going to offer me matte options. It's looking at it as one big block. So that's why I'm telling you, you have to attach them so it reads each file individually. All right, now that that's done, watch the page it takes me to. You always want to see the pictures. Bam. It's going to show you exactly. You can even zoom in and be like, okay, don't need to fix anything. Oh, I realized there's a spot on it that I don't like. If you hit edit and you do, is it edit? Hold on, let me think. Actions. Okay, it is actions. Again, cannot be attached. If you do actions and you grab just your sticker sheet, contour pops up. So again, not attached to anything. It's just my stickers. Remember when we had that little tiny dot? Let's bring that one back, okay? And you can even edit and move these guys around. So I can move this one up because this is the one that was going to be my sample. So we're going to bring him up to the top. We want to be able to see him. So we're going to turn the eyeball on. All right. We said that maybe you don't notice there's 2 dots. And yes, it's going to cut those. You want to make sure it's not attached whenever you're about to edit something. And when you're done editing, you can attach things. We are going to go to actions. We want to make sure we're touching this guy so that we can see it. Contour. Look what contour does. This is really, really cool. It shows you everything you missed because you were probably erasing and trying to use it as a PNG. And instead of going on every single, like, wait, is it highlighting it? Watch what it does. It takes away what you don't. Remember when we turn the eyeball off, it makes it light. Just imagine that anything that's light won't cut. So what we want to do is get rid of anything we don't want it to do. And look what you can do. You can just go around and tap on them. It's the quickest way for me to do it because I can actually see what I'm tapping on. And you can also do it down here, but that just got rid of things my eyeball didn't even see. I didn't even notice it. And that way your sticker sheet's going to cut cleaner, faster. It's not going to keep going to these little things. One time, I didn't even notice there was all this pixelation. That was so microscopic, I couldn't see it. It equaled like 300 layers of these things. And I was like, touch, touch, touch. And finally I just went, you know what? Let me just redo my whole canvas in Procreate. So I started from the top. Basically the file was kind of corrupt and I didn't erase good enough years ago. And so when I brought that file in, it just was really bad. But now it's not even going to cut those. And look what's missing. So if you don't see it in Procreate, trust me, that is going to be your friend, is contour. It's under actions and contour, and it gets rid of those little tiny things that you don't want. And if they're light, it means they won't cut them. Just anytime that you forget and you're like, wait a minute, which one? Is it lighter or darker? It's going to cut. When you hit contour at the beginning, they're all dark. So that'll kind of help you decide. But that has been my saving grace, because let me tell you, on Procreate, did you see any of those things? I don't. I saw these two, but I didn't see anything up over here. And even if I add a black background and not just transparent, let's see. Nope, don't even notice them. Let's add a white background. Again, we all learn something as we're trying to figure stuff out. And yeah, I would have never seen those. So the contour tool, one more time. You guys can always come back and rewatch this, but I'm going to tell you again, I don't think it can be attached. Let me attach it to things, but I think when it's attached, it doesn't offer you that because it's reading your entire attachment, your whole file. So if I attach this and then I just click on this one, okay, it does offer contour. The only thing it doesn't do is align, because it's trying to align too many things. So you have to be unattached. There you go. So you unattach, and that's when you can highlight things and you can edit, align, and you can align stuff, center, yada, yada. So that's the only time I think attach is not okay. But otherwise, at the very end, when you're all good, you highlight everything you like, make sure it's all selected, everything. I used to duplicate my sticker character. I thought it was cutting it twice, just like all of these, but for some reason it doesn't. It's really weird. It only goes over my stuff once. So again, I've had to find my own hacks and my own ways to get through this. So only one print, 10 rectangles. It will go around 10 times. You attach it, you hit make it. All right, this one I'm not gonna print because my printer, again, takes a really long time. We'd be sitting here like, what next? So that is if you want to do a large sticker sheet. That's how I do it. If you want the two 4x6s next to each other, then just set those two canvases up, duplicate them each, duplicate one 10 times, align it, move it where you want it, and then duplicate all 10 of those piled together, and it'll just duplicate another 10. I don't know why it's that hard to like even get the first one started, but hey, again, beggars can't be choosers. We're happy we can make sticker sheets in our house and not pay a company middleman a bunch of money that we could be putting into our own business. So what I am going to do, what she is going to do is we're going to delete this attachment. We're going to go back to what we originally had. Let's see. I'm going to delete this one. We're going to bring back our little sample one, because I think it's cute on just one. Don't worry, I'm going to waste one piece of paper. We want to turn this attachment on. Oh, I'm on edit. Am I on edit? No? Where's my eyeball? Oh, I know. The eyeball's up here. It's like this attachment clicked to that attachment. So the eyeball is only offered up there. I'm going to turn off these little guys, and we're going to duplicate this character. And you know what? I'm going to use it for a giveaway on Critterosity. Critterosity FAM, Critterosity Fam. I'm Critterosity Shop, and Critterosity Fam on Instagram. Critterosity FAM is for giveaways, or I find people that take great photos of my stuff and I feel like it represents my art, and then I do a giveaway with their picture and be like, their picture's amazing, they won prizes. But also I needed some more giveaway prizes, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna duplicate this one and get it set over, because while it's printing, I can be talking to you guys about the products. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just do it. So now that I have 10 over here and 10 squares are set up already on this canvas over here, I've attached those, and then I'm going to attach all of it, and I'm going to say make it. Oh, I didn't attach it, did I? And that's how you know, because I don't see a picture of them. You're like, what? You want to attach, now make it. Okay, so you want to make sure everything has an attachment at the top. You hit next. All right, we're going to talk settings and all that in a minute, but let's talk about the products I'm using and why I've chosen them, etc., etc. This is why it's print then cut.
It's offering you to print it. If it's just cut, it's going to be that matte picture that I keep telling you guys, no, it didn't attach. It's just going to be a matte, and it'll just send you to cut it, like Say Studios was telling us. So Say, that makes perfect sense. See, common sense. I love it. If you work through the project or you just test it out. I've thrown away a lot of paper, guys, just to figure out what happens if I do this. What happens if I don't do that? And it's been sad, but guess what? They're sticker sheets. You can literally use scissors and still use your paper. I have like 90 of these that didn't cut correctly, and now I'm just cutting them out and using them on my packaging. So don't be afraid to be a little bit of, a science person and check it out. I said science person. Write that down. Okay. All right. So you send to printer. And this is what I'm telling you. See how mine says no printer? I don't know. Maybe this is going to help some people that also can't find their printer ever. I have to go reset my Wi-Fi, and watch this. Is it there? Yes, it is. If I click on it, it freezes my whole program. How do I know that? Because I've tried it 800 times. It just doesn't work. So I do also have an Epson printer. I have to close out my Epson printer so it clears out the last one. I do try to print with Epson. Sometimes it finds it and this doesn't, and sometimes it doesn't. And if that's the case, I'm going to just reset my Wi-Fi. It only takes a second. Oh, it found it. That's good. It's really weird. I mean, all this technology trying to understand each other doesn't always work. All right, now you're probably thinking, I can't see the squares. That's because they don't really exist yet. Only the printer needs to know the cut lines. You know that the canvas is right and you can see it's laid out perfect. I go to print. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you guys. Premium presentation paper is not offered on every single printer setting. And it drives me crazy when everyone's like, pick this. And I'm like, but it doesn't have that option. Any kind of high presentation, premium photo, premium presentation, anything that says matte, good. Matte paper is good. Bright white paper is like your computer paper, so I wouldn't choose that. Something that's like a presentation paper and matte. So that's what I'm going to go for. And we are going to do high for the print quality, and we're going to do color. Borders is something I can't choose anything else. It'll just screw everything up. So I leave the borders. It hasn't messed anything up, and my Cricut definitely knows. You can write questions now. I'm just going to go run and make sure I have some vinyl paper put in. Give me 1 second. I'm printing this one on vinyl paper. So we will talk about the papers in 1 second. If you're watching this in the future, this is a great time to like fast forward it to when I start talking about other things. All right, so I'm loading in my paper right now. And she's all ready to go. I also don't understand why Epson, because we're going to talk about the printer too. I also don't understand why Epson makes you hit next and then up. And I'm going to take you guys over there to show you. We're going to start. Okay, now see how it starts? You heard it? Hold on, we're going to walk together. She cleaned the room for you. Okay, see this? And I've noticed this on everyone else's tutorials. You have to hit OK and up. It will not just start printing. It doesn't make any sense to me. But once it starts printing, we're great. All right, let's talk about printers. Let's see. If you print at a larger size, will it read the cut lines the same? That, I have to say it doesn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've done it and it didn't. But also, one time when my printer was pulling the paper down, it started the second one a little bit early. That's why I usually only load one paper. When I get late, or not lazy, when I feel like I'm over it and I'm like, I'm going to put in like 3 pages, every now and then one will start and it'll start too late. It like sucks it down and then it prints it way too far off. Same exact borders. It's just lower. It can't find it. If you've ever accidentally put it on upside down, especially 2 4x6s, and you just accidentally put your pages the wrong way thinking they look the same, it won't find those borders. If you find it works for you, great. And guess what? If it doesn't find the borders, you do lose the cut line on Cricut, but you can always cut out the stickers. That's why I love the sticker sheets. I can still use them. They just won't be like die cut all perfectly, you know? So just a reminder, you can always recycle the ones you couldn't use, you know, or it didn't work. So this is an Epson 2803, aka it is the exact same model as an ET 2800. I was explaining this to Say Studios that This was specifically made for Walmart and Target. It's exactly an ET 2800, but so people would go buy them at Target and Walmart and they'd get their deal, you know, and Target and Walmart could collaborate with Epson and carry them. They made them a special model number. It is exactly the same thing as a 2800. I fought Greg on this. I watched a bunch of videos, found out he won the fight. Eco tanks are where you want to go, guys. Nothing else, and I'm going to tell you why. The Cosmos ink, I don't have the packaging anymore, but I did save the bottles so that I could always go back to it. Give me 1 second as everything falls out as usual. All right, this is Cosmos ink. And the reason I'm telling you, you cannot use a regular printer you've already printed on, and then you go and switch up the ink. You can't do it. You know why? Because the pads on the printer have already absorbed regular ink that comes with your Epson. Do not, for any reason, put in regular ink. You're done. Yeah, you need to go buy a whole new printer. These printers are around the $200 to $300 range. I'm sure there's people selling them on OfferUp and all those places. But if you go buy one from Walmart or something and there's a deal going on, be it Cyber Monday, Black Friday, whatever, Labor Day weekend, maybe you can find them at a deal. But to me, this is awesome. This is so, look at this. The colors are coming out great. Look at this. I have never filled up my ink since I've had it since December. And if anyone has been following me, I have gone through like 60 sticker sheets. I have only used these bottles to refill, and it was literally down to about where that little edge is. I just filled it up once it was too full and I had a little bit left over in each bottle. I only added the remaining of it to get it. And that's where we are. I still have a ton of ink. So, this is the one I converted. You get people that are like, you can't convert it or you shouldn't do that. Guess what? There's a lot of you shouldn'ts, and guess who wins sometimes? The people that do the things you're not supposed to do. That's right. Greg has taught me that because I'm a girl who likes to follow the rules, and I've realized if you don't try it, whatever, you know? So yeah, some of my colors might be off. Some of my colors might not be great, but it is good enough. I am very happy with it. And you'll get people that are going to fight you and say, pigment ink stinks. It rhymes. Pigment ink stinks. I don't like it. I like the colors from my regular. Yes, but is it waterproof? Yes, but pigment ink is supposed to last 100 years in color. Regular ink is supposed to last on average 40 years before it fades. Now, in a lifetime span of buying somebody's sticker, I don't think anybody's going to care. But if you're a collector like most of my sticker people, you might have stuff from the 80s and it's holding up. So if you want your stuff to be great, there's that. How much is Cosmos ink? I definitely have the link for you guys down in the bio. It's different based on what printer you're buying it for because they make this special pigment ink specific for the eco tanks. They have other printers that it can go in. It depends on what you're buying. I believe mine was about $40. And again, it has lasted me well over 50 sticker sheets. Well over 50 sticker sheets on transparent and on vinyl. So glad we did this. Glad we did it live. I'm glad that everything's on my iPad. Now, Eva, what is that one down there? That is for sublimation. And it is the exact same rule, different ink, not pigment ink. This is made with only sublimation ink that I've converted to. So I've never put regular ink in it. I don't buy Epson ink. I buy Hippo, which the name I'll never get over. It's like Hippoo. Hippo ink. It has a little hippo in the corner, and that's about the same price. It's around 40-ish bucks, and haven't had to replace it at all. It's still lasting me. And even though it looks faded, it's not. It's sublimation paper. When it transfers, it gets brighter. And I wanted to make sure I touch on both of these because I am the girl that has spent the money and converted. $250. I bought a sub paper for this one. We're going to talk about that. But look, see, it goes from light. First we were freaked out. I'm like, Greg, the ink is awful. No, it just transfers, and that's when the color comes in. So if you're looking to do sublimation printer stuff, maybe we can make that another tutorial. You can let me know in the comments below if you'd like to learn more about sublimation, because I'm learning all on my own, guys. Like, other than YouTube tutorials, There's nobody that has taught me and come into my home and like taught me how to do it. And then of course I've got the heat press that was sponsored by HTV Romp for me. So thank you so much to them. These are all out of pocket, guys. And if you have a small shop, make those investments before the end of the year so you can use it as a write-off. All right, let's go now over to, what did I just do with that paper? There we go. See, throwing off my own groove. All right, we're back and we're back. All right. So I've made a little mount for you guys over the Cricut when we get to that. Whoop. Did this flip? Did you guys flip? Hold on. That was weird. It was in my little cradle differently last time, so that was bizarre. Okay. No, why is it? You guys are being blocked. Oh, Eva, she's still learning. She's still learning, folks. Live tutorials, not my thing. This is why I like to film and edit together. All right, so let's take a look at our different papers. Let me turn you guys this way so we don't have a ton of shadow. All right, I have also included in my description all the things I'm using. I am not sponsored by Joyiza, I believe is their name. Not sponsored, and I wish I knew what of the 900 videos I watched. One girl really goes through all different vinyls. She goes and rips them for you. She shows you how the pigment washes off or doesn't. Well, if it's pigment ink, it doesn't wash off. But if she's using regular printer paper kind of stuff, like how does it do in water? How does it tear? Joyiza is awesome. I am in love. I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it, okay? If you print your sticker sheet image larger than what you have in the Cricut, will the Cricut still read the lines correctly? Did you ask that one and you maybe missed me answering it? If you print the larger size, will it read? It's the same answer that I said earlier, so I'm sorry if you missed it or something. No, it won't read it. It has to be exactly what the Cricut makes it. So if you say expand it in your printer, it won't read these lines. And what I was telling you guys earlier was one of my, actually it's right here. Nope, it was right here. There it is. Look at this. See the difference? This is perfect. I'm glad you're asking this because I'm now using it, just cutting it out myself. See that? Do you see where it's supposed to be and where they printed? Because it sucked my paper down like oddly. It like brought it down first. Oh, it started printing too fast. That's what it was. And this was towards the end because it comes out of my printer like this. It was supposed to start higher up, but it sucked it in too soon and it doubled down and pulled two of these in at the same time. And what it did was it couldn't find the lines because it doesn't register it in the same spot. And if you're like, oh, well, why didn't you just flip it over? Because the cut lines it's reading is supposed to read it the other way. So it would have started cutting out this character shape up here. It doesn't matter what this is. It only matters where the guidelines are because it has no idea. It's not a camera. It can't read, like laser cutters now have a camera. So it can be like, okay, that's the shape. I need to cut around it. But if you do anything to sabotage its computer knowledge of how it laid it out, it's only going based on guidelines and it needs to read it. Otherwise your printers get your, basically what my Cricut was doing was it went down to where a normal guideline would be, which again is, okay, I'm gonna line these up just so you can see how off they are. Okay, so the machine came down to stop right here. And when it came to here, it was like, where's the guideline? Where's the guideline? And it kept looking for it and it finally turned off and said, there's no guideline to read. So I am now keeping these and you guys will probably get them on your packages. Ooh, sorry. My acai bowl is melting and it's like I can eat it much faster now. Sorry about that. Okay, you missed it. Okay, perfect. All good. I was like, wait, is this the same question or a different one? Are you punking me? Just kidding. So Joyiza is fabulous. I always show people a little sample. I will do in the corner here because again, it's not going to cut in the corner. This is going to be thrown away anyway. Give me 1 second. Once they're cut, they're easy to peel off. Hold on. Rice peel off is what I always think of when I say peel off. Okay. So this is Joyiza. Look at that. I can't even tear it. And please excuse my hands. I face painted at a party and when you get face paint in your cuticles, it just stays dark. I noticed that when I filmed my tutorial commercial. All right, so this is why I love this company. I don't want easy paper tear. This is the backside, okay? That's not a good paper to me if that was the case. Don't worry. Again, this is sticking out of the Cricut, so it never even touches this corner. So there's that.
So Joyiza for vinyl is fantastic. This is the matte vinyl. I really, really, really like it. All right, moving on to Joyiza's, I believe it's Joyiza, same company, makes the transparent sticker sheet. At first, I really didn't like it. I didn't. I loved how pretty these looked, and I hated the way it cut. I have now learned so much, you guys. Even from my last TikTok I filmed like a week ago, and I had somebody write in the comment like, this doesn't make sense. And I'm like, no, it makes sense. But I also realized, even though it made sense and it worked the way I taught it, I had to double down on actually doing like more rectangles. So it's hard to cut through this. And I want to remind you guys, different papers require different types of cut, different types of basically settings, different types of pressure. That's why I'm saying what's working here, if you buy these actual products, don't even go through my Amazon. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the storefront and that I'm supposed to be an influencer. Just buy them on your own. Put them on your own Amazon. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you though, if you follow the steps I teach you guys and do the settings the way I do them, it will work. And maybe down the road, you're going to write me and say, hey, Eva, I was doing it your way for a long time and I found the perfect setting. You only have to do it once now. And then that's great. That's how we all learn together. It's called giving, okay? Giving gives. It gives more. It gives you stuff back too. So if you feel like whatever I teach you today doesn't apply in the future to you right now, be kind in your response and how you say, hey, guess what? I have a different way of doing it and it also works too, but it cuts down the time. Fantastic. All right, and the last paper I want to talk about is In a Pinch. Some of my subscribers and my supporters are going to see that they got the Cricut paper. Nothing's wrong with the Cricut paper. Honestly, it's probably even better than the Joyiza in some ways, and in other ways, I don't care for it. It definitely got the job done. It's much thicker, which can be a really great thing. The only thing I really don't like is that it was so like thick. The settings I normally do that I'm used to for my matte paper. Do you hear my cat crying for me? Do you hear? What kind of mom would I be if I don't stop what I'm doing to let him in to sniff me for 5 minutes and then walk back outside? I would be a terrible mommy. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, you never know what's going to happen live, guys, when you tune in. Yes, giving is giving. Who cares? Just give. I mean, there's stuff I won't share. You know, there's things that are for me or I research, but sharing a tutorial information on how to make something is another thing. So you'll even see right here, I couldn't even separate the backing. When it cuts it out, it's great when it's kiss cut. But like right now, I'm just trying to start a corner to show you guys how I was showing you the Joyiza one, how it doesn't really tear. And with the Cricut paper, I can't even get the corner started. It's literally like so difficult. But this was in a pinch. I ran out and my matte paper wasn't going to give me any more. It wasn't going to come in again for like 3 days. So I got this paper. It's not bad. It took 2 rounds to cut it out, which is so weird because it's just matte paper. So now we're going to set up our canvas and we're going to start first with this vinyl that we just did. And I'm going to bring this over so you guys have a comparison of what I'm doing. Okay. See, he wants out again already. He's over it. All right. So now that you've done this, you're going to see this when it's, oh, sorry. This is still on my printer. Get rid of the printer. Let's go back to the program. Look what happens. If I go out for too long and I come back, it's gone. And then guess what just happened? It saved it because it was the last thing we were working on. But if you close the whole program out, you forgot to save it, you went and set up other things, it's gone forever. That's why you have to hit save. Usually I'll save it and anything in the layers, even if there's other images I have in there, it'll keep those too. So it doesn't hurt to save it again. But I'm probably not going to save this. This is just a sample one. If it saves, it'll save the way it was from the very beginning, not like this way. All right. Okay. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Now we've got this. We've got this. It all closed out, Eva. That's fine. Just hit make it again. So just highlight everything, hit make it so that you can get to the next stage. All right. It'll happen more often than you expect. You hit next, especially if you have to go out of the app to print through another app. It does happen. All right, you have 2 options here now.
You've got send to printer, which we just did, and you have I've already printed. If I can make my suggestion, I usually do a sample one, make sure I like it, like the way it cuts, like the way it looks. I don't need to make any other adjustments. And then I'll go back, I'll print all of them at the same time. So then later I just keep doing the I've already printed. Just a suggestion, you do what you want, you find your own rhythm. I hit I've already printed. It's gonna bring up my options to set this at. Now, a reminder, I use the deep point blade for everything. I don't change it out, I don't use the fine point, I only use a deep point blade. If you don't know what that is, I'm gonna get to it in a second. You'll see a little kind of picture comparison to show you. I bought the deep point blade on like Amazon. You can even find off brands. I still buy Cricut. I am one of those people, as much as I converted my Epson into a sublimation and an Epson into a pigment ink. I like to use the products for Cricut with Cricut. So if anything breaks, I can blame them. Is that bad? But it doesn't hurt. I know so many people are like, it's literally the exact same thing. I know, but I'm just letting you know. You really can't fight them if you're using other products. So with this, I'm going to type in washi. I pretty much just do wash. I click on washi sheet, not washi tape. Does washi tape do the same thing? I don't know. Haven't scienced it yet. Is that a word? Can you science things? Thor, what do you think about that? Okay, he just freaked out from that noise. Okay. Pressure, I do more because this is a paper and the deep cut blade is already a longer blade. And this is what I was talking about. Let's zoom in on this. Whoop. All right. Deep point blade is going to have more of the rectangle kind of edging. They look very similar, but this one is a little bit shorter. It's barely showing, but it's a little shorter. And this is a fine point blade, which is recommended for this project. I don't listen to anything they recommend because they also gave me beta testing one time and it was awful. So no, sorry. I've just gone over your head. Okay. I do the deep point blade when I'm doing transparent, but I let it think that the fine point blade is in there. So I actually leave it on fine point blade when I'm doing the vinyl. Let's go through our settings again. You can freeze this. You can go back. I said I already printed it. I selected for material, washi sheet, not washi tape. My pressure is more. And because I'm doing more, if I was to pick the deep cut blade, I think it goes down even more. Maybe it does nothing. I feel like it leaves the back of the sticker sheet gets that like cut line through, almost like partially die cut. If this setting doesn't work for you, don't scream at me. Don't yell at me. It doesn't work for you, you figure it out. Like, I'm telling you my exact settings and how I've been making these quickly and without any problems. Do you need to tape the edges of this, Eva? No, I talk about myself in third person all the time. Welcome to those that are new. Okay, you don't need to tape the corners, nothing. There's no reflection on this. We will talk about reflections when we get to transparent sticker sheets. Okay, we'll talk about that. But for now, you're good to go. Even with my weird little corner that I did over here, it doesn't matter. It's going to need to feed in here and it's only going to go to about here. So don't cut it off. Just let it sit. You're just going to throw it away in a hole. All right, now we're going in a hole. I mean, as a whole, you're going to throw the rest of it away. If you guys have any questions at any time during this, great times to ask. Your Cricut mat does not matter as long as Cricut is on one of the sides. The sizing doesn't matter. You just want to make sure you get as close to the corner as possible. One thing I haven't tried is to be like, well, I'm going to be willy-nilly and I'm going to push it all the way over and see if it still finds it. Look, it wants it in the top left corner. I'm going to do as many things as I can to not have it break on me. I have lost some stickiness on this mat. They have said that if you take water and soap and you clean it off with like a sponge and let it dry, you get the tackiness back. I'm going to be checking that one out pretty soon. Right now, I need all my mats at the ready because I've been making, go ahead, Thor. Sorry, back out again. I've been making sticker sheets like nonstop and I have an order for like 20 sticker sheets tomorrow for a customer. So I'm like I'm just constantly making that I don't have time to like wash it and dry it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So it's pressed down. This was when I got some face paint on my finger. Now I've talked about this recently. If you don't follow me on TikTok, I give quick tips as I'm learning them, which is where people like to yell at me and tell me I'm wrong. And that's awesome. I don't take anything to heart. I just try to remind people, instead of yelling at me, it's working for me. So I don't know what to tell you. This is heat transfer tape. People are using washi tape. Washi tape, I don't know about you guys and where you're finding your washi tape. I get mine sometimes from Daiso. Sometimes I buy from friends. Sometimes I use my own. It tears so awkwardly sometimes. It makes me angry because it like goes at an angle and I get that sharp point. Sometimes it peels really nice. Doesn't matter. You don't need to drop any washi tape links for me. I won't be doing it. My heat transfer tape is mostly for my heat transfer stuff, but you know what? It is awesome. It does not get stuck, just like washi tape. It doesn't get stuck, but it's also transparent, which I love because I can actually see through it and see what I'm doing. Now, when I'm just kind of taping these to the mat, I'm just doing top and bottom. Okay, I've watched people be a little crazy, a little wild. You don't need to do all the corners. Once the rollers go on it, you're good. Like, you don't have to worry about it anymore. So we're going to take this and put it in. If it's super sticky, great. There's light mats. There's heavy duty mats where you really need that grasp. This is a standard grip. It's been great. Light grip was a little too light and it started moving the sticker sheet around. But now that it's, I don't really care. Even if it's not sticky, the 2 pieces of tape are working great. All right. So now we're going to face you over here. And I'm going to show you guys what I'll do. We are going to put it in. Now, the thing you need to know if you are new to Cricut, it wiggles, it jiggles, it has no set place to go. So you can never put it back in the printer the same way twice. How do you get away with that? How do you print a second time without that happening? One, it will read the guidelines. So if you do ever have to, put the project back in, as long as you haven't changed your sticker sheet and it's the same, it's going to go based on the guidelines. So it should cut in the exact same spot. If you accidentally unload it and you're like, oh no, it needs to cut one more time. But we're going to learn through the transparent sticker sheet how you just cut it a second time without unloading it. For those that don't know, again, this is a tutorial for everybody, not just for the pros, okay? All right, so we're going to, especially not me, I'm not a pro. So what I do is I barely hold it with my finger with a little bit of pressure in. I'm not shoving it into the machine, but I'm definitely making sure because there's been times I don't push it in enough and then it misses it by like a centimeter. And it just won't read the guideline. So I just gently start to guide it in, and then I'm gonna hit the load button. So let me put you over top. Bloop, bloop. See how I've gotten everything set up for you guys? Will it work? I don't know. Will it click a button that I don't want it to? I don't know. All right, so we're gonna get rid of this for now. This I'm gonna explain to you in a minute. This is flashing. I just grab it with my hand just slightly, let it pull it in. Let it think. Cricut light will flash. Press. Voila. That's it. You've just basically started your Cricut sheet. Okay? And this is with the Joyiza matte paper. So that is with this one. Okay? And I keep saying, okay. And with that one, the Cricut needs to go through twice. That's at least what I found on these settings. But we will talk about how you run it through twice without unloading it. For this one, it should print, and I'm gonna give you a tip and trick on how to do the rest. All right, let's talk about anything you guys have questions about. Let me see. I'm gonna let you kind of watch this for a minute. I'm gonna see if anyone's writing in the chat. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here and watching this. You guys are awesome. I want you to see how it reads. If it ever sits too long in one spot, like really long amount of time and doesn't move to the next corner, you know you have a problem. Paper, it reads, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. All right, you guys seem to be okay? Yeah, this is the boring part. I'm gonna let it play out because what happens is people go away from it and then next thing you know, it's like showing something else and you're like, wait, they missed a spot. I want you to see, like, we are going through this together. It's saying cutting. if it starts to freeze on that last corner and it's not doing anything, oh, sorry guys, you're probably gonna shake because you're connected. Let me hold this. It should say cutting the whole time it's doing it. This is not gonna take too long, but I want you to see the way it goes around 10 rectangles. Right now it's only cutting the characters once, and on the matte vinyl, that's usually enough. But with Cricut matte vinyl, it had to go twice. I had to run it twice. So we're gonna cut out our Cricut paper, and we're gonna do our transparent paper, which are a similar cut on those. Sometimes I hit the wrong thing. Maybe I hit more pressure instead of less. And then I'm like, dang it, you know, like it's going through the back. And I use those as giveaways. I use those in just like little fillers for my boxes. So right now it's going around 10 times in a rectangle. That's the 10 rectangles we put on the 4x6. All right. And you probably think 10 is too much. It's not. Sometimes it's not even enough. The Cricut, it was like, I still had to sit there and punch it out. So even with the deep point blade, another thing I'm going to tell you guys is those pictures I showed you of the blades, the little cartoon kind of clip art pictures, it will also show you the way you should have it facing. And I've done that, and that actually answered something where my knife wasn't cutting really well. And I was so confused. I'm like, it's a brand new knife. And what I found out was the little knife thing wasn't facing the correct direction. So I always face it the way it's on the picture, just so that maybe that gives you guys a helpful tip on that. All right, I think you guys are still good. I don't see any new questions. Thank you so much for watching live. Okay, we're still going. So now it's gonna move over to this one after it does its 10. And I'll start cutting out those edges. What I was gonna tell you guys is before, or by the time it's done printing, I should say, when it first kicks it out, instead of hitting unload, I usually take the corner and start to test the stickers on the outside. I don't remove it from the sheet. I don't unload it. Just right there, I start testing everything. And if I feel like it needs to print again, that's where I told you I'll show you the little trick on how to print again. Right now, it's just going around the edges. You saw it. It did those little dots because I forgot to take them off the second time, the little contour. So those little dots did get cut out. And that's why I was telling you the contour tool is amazing. Okay, let's see. I forgot, let's see. Sorry. I forgot it swiveled. Yeah. And that's the thing, like when I load this in, I make sure the knife is pointing the exact same direction as that photo. And then, you know, hope that it works. Okay, so we're almost done. It's gonna go around 10 times. Again, nobody's asking questions, so I'm assuming you all know. I guess I've been pretty clear. I guess nobody's like totally confused yet. Okay, still going. Once this comes out, I can kind of show you. Then as I print the next ones, you don't have to hang out the whole time over the top. I'll move you guys and we can look at something else. Now, something else I was terrified to do, and one day when I was doing like a burner sticker sheet where I didn't care what happened to it, I closed out the app and I thought, I won't be able to do any work while the Cricut's cutting. You can do other things. You don't have to stay in Cricut. There was one time it glitched for a second and kind of stayed in one spot, and I went back to Cricut and was like, and then it found its way again and it kept going. It was the only time it ever glitched, but you can close out the app. Just don't close it. Just shrink it basically, and you can move on to other things. Okay, so there's some new knowledge there for anyone that didn't know that, because I was so afraid. If I'm in my printer app and I go out of my printer app, it does stop cutting out, or it stops printing the picture. So it just depends on the app, and I was willing to take that risk for you guys. But let me show you while we're waiting, and I'm sorry if it's shaking the camera. This isn't even all of them, guys. There are so many duds. Look at all these duds. And I'm gonna be doing like craft nights with my, with all of my followers again that are local, that want to come out and support. These are all going to be thrown on the table to make stuff with. So if you are local to LA, Orange County, we're by Disneyland. These are ones that printed out, like Say was talking about. This one was the wrong grid line. It did something where it shrunk it and it was the wrong size and it didn't work. That was the size it was supposed to be. And then this one, I couldn't figure out my Cricut back then. So like, these are all just testers. A lot of you are probably gonna start asking me about lamination. This is why I don't do lamination. It covers it way too much. I personally don't like it. My pieces are more subtle and intricate. When someone has a very bold piece, I feel it works really well. But since I have a lot of details, this was just way too much. So now I'm actually using this to like seal packages and everything instead of covering it with a laminate. I'm sure there's other laminates. I have other ones too. It's not just that. Okay, so now that we're here, I lift up a corner. So I have not hit the unload button. All right, because it's easier to say cut it again than to unload it and then have to restart from the beginning. Right now it says action complete, but technically if I want it to recut, I don't touch anything on the iPad. I leave it like it is. Okay, I can tell this is coming up really nice on that setting. Now I want to kind of press that down just in case I have to go a second time. And I just check the corner sticker and look at that. It's perfect. See, I never went away. I never changed anything. You guys didn't see me like pause my screen and you're like, of course it works for her. It doesn't work for me. Just follow the settings and the brands. And again, I'm not sponsored by anybody that I've shouted out today. I wish I was, but I'm not. So these are good. So what do I hit? I hit the unload button. If you wanted to go again, you hit the C. And it'll suck it in, and instead of checking all the guidelines, it just knows already. It's already in its memory. Imagine there's a brain. It's already done it, and it can cut again. Let's say the outline is perfect, but the character isn't. Remember, it's gonna cut the inside characters first. So sometimes I'll run it again if I feel like it needed to go again, like the Cricut one you're gonna see. The vinyl just does not peel easily. You can always hit pause or stop or exit, whatever, during the project and be like, okay, cut out the characters one more time. I don't want it to do the outside because it's going to tear the paper. Then just hit stop. But you kind of have to monitor it and do it like kind of just by watching. So now we eject it. We're going to peel this up. See, haven't done anything wrong. And look at this. I'm going to show you the tape. All right, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. And it peels off so nice because this is just for heat transfer. It's not supposed to stay on forever. It's not supposed to stick really, really good to where you can't use it again. There, I put it on the back of my Cricut machine, so it's all ready for the next use. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you guys as I peel this up. You can bend the corner so it pops up better. I sometimes am really impatient. So if you want to try to win these, Critterosity Fam, F-A-M on Instagram, I'll be doing a little special there. But yeah, you can see where I totally forgot to take it off the second time I did it. And you can get these two little stickers. This is why I'm telling you, the white background, I saved all my money not using my ink for a cute background. It's a sacrifice I am willing to make, because I could put that money towards something else than buying pigment ink, because what are they going to do when they peel these two stickers off? They're going to chuck it. And what a waste. What a waste of ink. Why would you do that? So I've kind of told my customers, like, sorry, they're going to be white backgrounds. This is how it's working. I don't care about being all cutesy. The characters themselves are the things you're keeping. So that's what I want to do. Let's see. It's not shaking. Okay, good, good, good. So we're going to move these off to the side. And now I want to change projects. And since I've already set up my canvas, we're going to get the transparent sticker sheet. And this is the one people are excited for. And then we'll do the Cricut one just to show anyone that wants to stick around for that. All right. I'm going to say, let's go out of this. Okay. And let's go out of that. And it's really easy for me to start from the get-go again once I've already set things up. So I go to My Stuff, Projects. I have Crystal Large Sheet. I grab that one. Now, this has been really bad about loading. Luckily, I titled them, so I know exactly what it is. You can customize it and go back and work on it. I don't want anything to change. My settings are perfect for what I've already printed. I hit Make It. Once I hit Make It, it actually shows me what it is. So you just have to be patient. Don't touch anything on the screen. Let it be. We're going to set up this transparent sticker sheet first, though, because it's not as easy as you think. We're going to hit Next, and it's going to lead us to, do you want to print it or have you already printed? And hopefully you guys can see. Okay, cool. All right, so I say I've already printed all materials. Okay, let me bring you guys down as I work on this. Boop, boop. Okay, so for a transparent sticker sheet, you guys ready? Sticky note is not going to cut it perfectly the first time with the way I have it. Sticky note. Do you have your sticky note so you can skip school today? Sticky note. Now, maybe you find some cool way to do this and you're like, Eva, I set my pressure to this and I did this and I did that. I have even tried to make my own pressure settings and my iPad will not let me do it. I've followed all the tutorials. It doesn't even give me the option. It shoots me out. So if you are like, you can just make your own pressure setting, I can't. I absolutely can't. I've tried it so many times. I'm in this right now, so I'm not going to show you guys, but I have tried it every which way. And for some reason, I don't know if it's the iPad app or what, it doesn't let me make my own. So I kind of have to work with what I have. I've even found that sticky note, let's say, is 185 pressure. I will try to find something that's 186 or 187, hoping it will just slightly help so I don't have to run it a second time. And it pressed too much. And it was just like literally one little dot over. And I'm like, what the heck? So this is the way I'm doing it. I'm very happy. If you ask me, I have no problem. I work during the time it's cutting. I sometimes forget about the Cricut and then I'm like, oh, whoops, I got to go press it again. So unless I'm bothered by it or it's affecting me, I do my sticker sheets throughout the day when I'm working. So I'm not really in a major hurry. Okay. So we've got sticky note. Default is actually going to be less. I know you're like, well, maybe that's your problem. I've done default and I've done more. And what it's done is cut through the back. So I have had to really mess with all these different adjustments to find exactly what works. After I do sticky note and less, I actually pick my deep point blade. Do you guys see though what I'm talking about is why I load it in like that? I'm going to pull this out right now and show you guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. First, every now and then, you have to clean off all the leave-ins, okay? That's what my friends and I always call it. Anything left behind is the leave-ins. And you just kind of, I'm being very careful, but I'm using like my little nail. And when you're doing sticker sheets, imagine all that sticky stuff is just getting stuck to the blade. So once it's loaded up, I match it to face the same direction and I load it in that exact way. Does that help? I don't know, but I was having a lot of issues when it wasn't facing that direction. So I'm just assuming they're showing me exactly which way the little kniff needs to go. Okay, and did I do it right? Hold on, I have to look at that again. Bloop, okay, and then I load it in that way. I have found it just works better if I just pretend that that's the way to do it. Okay, so now that you're done, you hit continue. Your little flashing light is going to go. See, the little flashing light is all ready. Now we got to prepare our canvas. This one is different. This one is unique. All right, again, in the descriptions, you'll find the info on how I've done this and what products I'm using. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, for this one, what I do is I get my transparent sticker sheet. Imagine being a light that needs to read a guideline and you're getting a reflection. You would think the machine would see it, but it doesn't. So that's why it doesn't cut transparent sticker sheets out really easily. So what I do, put it in my corner. These are a thicker canvas. No, what am I trying to say? Sheet of paper. It's a thicker one. So it definitely just needs the two, whoops, almost went with my old Scotch tape. All right, I go with the heat transfer tape at the top and bottom, just like I did before, making sure it's on. I don't overdo it, you guys. Sometimes people are putting on way too much tape. Okay, it's just not necessary. There's not a problem with it. It's just, if you don't need to waste that much tape, don't. So if you saw my first tutorials, I was able to take the magic Scotch tape that is a little bit more like this, not clear. Okay, crystal clear doesn't help. It's crystal clear. You got to fog up the light a bit. All right. Now I've gone back to the original thing, but I've dumbed it down even more for myself. I was covering underneath the light. So let me show people that maybe haven't seen that tutorial. I believe it still works. Is I was putting the tape right here. I was removing the blade. Okay, you don't want to cut yourself. I wrapped the tape underneath to hide the light and add a filter. It's something somebody did as a hack. It was awesome. It worked for about a month and then it didn't. And every single time I do it, even when I calibrate with it on and try to get it to read it, wouldn't work. So I was like, okay, if it's not going to work, we go back to the basic taping the corners. Now what people are doing is they're taking washi tape and like trying to line it up perfect. There is no guideline here. It's not going to even read anything you put there. So there's no point in doing it. All you need to do is help get rid of some of the reflection deflect it by putting a piece of this in the corner. It doesn't even have to be huge. Just as long as you put a piece of the magic Scotch tape that's a little foggy over the corners. Not even doing it perfect. I'm not even like, oh, it has to be so perfect. As long as it's the majority of the corner and the edges. And I honestly went and just bought a ton of this like cheapo tape at like a Dollar Tree store. I didn't even care. I was like, this is fully what it's going to be used for. It's whatever. Now we have the Scotch tape in each corner. Do you see how the light kind of jumps over it now? It's not as hard to see. It's hard to see there on the gems, but on the side, nope. It's treating it like a regular piece of paper. Now, if you have an issue with printing, I actually found this out filming my transparent sticker sheet tutorial back when I did it. Again, things change on a daily basis with Cricut, and so do they with like what you have to change up and do. I was showing you guys that my printer, I went out of the app on accident and it stopped printing at the bottom. And so my guidelines disappeared. This printed, but my guidelines were like blue and they were just gone. I took another sticker sheet a transparent one. I'm going to grab this. Oh, wait, no. I have a transparent one right here. Perfect. I took another transparent sticker sheet, and because it's transparent, guess what? Good news. You can literally peel it off and lay it right over it, and made my own hack to get the lines back, because all it needs is the guidelines to read where the pictures are. So as long as you line it up perfectly, you can actually recycle your old piece from the last one you did. Hi, Greg. You're here. It's okay. But we're on YouTube. The llaves? Yeah. Okay, sorry, guys. This is our lives. We never know what we're going to need. How did you get home if you don't have keys?
So cute today.
Oh, he thought I looked cute today.
Oh, now I gotta move your car so I can move.
Oh, you need to move my car. Sorry, guys. You never know. Right. This is gonna live forever on YouTube.
Sorry, don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah, you're busy. Do it.
I'm sorry. We're almost done. We're getting there. Okay. I said I'll be filming today, and here he is. All right. So we're gonna put this right back where it was. Like I said, give it a little bit of a little nudge. Just not a nudge, but hold it nicely and firm. We are just gonna press the button, make sure it goes in straight. Bam. Ready to go. Now, if you're like, oh, it's not going to work, watch this. She thinks it's going to work. It's not. We have loaded it in. We're going to hit the C. And here's the true test is it shouldn't stay in one corner too long. Let's watch it work, okay? Now, we will go away from this one as it starts to cut just because this one has a lot more. But this is how you know. If it gets there and it does not move from that spot for a long time, like I'm talking 3 minutes, it's just knit, 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 knit. If it's not moving fairly quick like this, you have a problem. It's not reading it. So again, do not use clear tape. Do not use a colored washi tape. Don't even use your heat transfer tape. Just use your little foggy Scotch tape. All right, so this is where it was getting stuck forever when I had the Scotch tape under the light. Also, I had to keep replacing the Scotch tape under the light because as it drags, it was hitting the rollers. It was getting tied up in the little wheels. Honestly, if I can say the corners, best place. All right, now if it freezes, keep watching your screen because this needs to say cutting. There you go, it's approved. Do you see what I'm saying? So these people that are running tape all down the edges, I want to like cry for them because I'm like, you guys didn't even need to do that. You didn't even need to do it. And you've been doing it forever. And that's where different minds that think different ways might try something that's going to save you time, save you product, save you material. And so that's why I'm like, don't get angry that someone's not doing something your way. They might be approaching it in a whole new light. That's why our brains are all different. That's why some of us are doctors, some are scientists, some are artists, and some like to just play the kazoo on a boat. Okay? Like, who knows? Who knows why we're like this? Nobody understands. But we're going to let that go. And when it's done, this is what I put in the meantime. Hit C again. For those of you that saw my Britney Spears little hit the C one more time. Get it? Hit me, baby, one more time. Okay. Well, anyway, my dad jokes go over a lot of people's heads. But on TikTok, I said this, and somebody left a comment that I thought was funny only because I'm like, instead of asking me, how are you doing it? Or I don't understand, they said, that doesn't work. And I'm like, I'm literally doing it. That's why I made a TikTok. So watch how you write in the comments. It can come off a certain way. You're not giving someone a chance to explain. If the person ever sees this, I love you. I'm not mad at you, but just watch how you write things because it can be interpreted a different way. It can come off like you're telling someone that what they're doing is wrong. The number one thing we should know now, and schools have said, there's not always one way to get to something. So I'm not necessarily wrong. It just may not be somebody else's way of doing it. Okay. So they later put in their thing, like, that doesn't work, or I'm not understanding. And I'm like, it's the second one. So I put this here as a reminder. That way I know I need to hit the C again. This is just for my old lady brain, especially when you're putting like 50 of these through and you are just going like this. You're like, wait, did I hit it a second time? Wait, did I? Wait, no? So what I do is I take it off, get it loaded for the first round, and I put my little sticky on there. Usually I'll put the little sticky note right here, and then when it's time to use it, I'll put it here. That way I remember the note to remember the note. So if that's helpful for you guys, the transparent sticker sheet will need to go through twice. It takes double the amount of time, but if you're doing it on just a normal day, you're just kind of getting things done throughout your house, you need to make like 20. Just a reminder, time it, and then set an alarm. If they take 8 minutes each time, there are times this thing will fully be like beep, 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 like I'm done, and I never hear it. So you just get in a rhythm. So don't forget to leave yourself notes, time it out. Like, hey, every 10 minutes I get to rotate this. That's awesome. Then at least you can set your alarm for about 10 minutes, and that way you're ready at the Cricut to get it started again. So those are some helpful tips I've done. Some things to help that I can't always make a TikTok about 24/7. All right. All right. We're moving back over. We're going to take a look. Does anyone have any questions about Procreate while we have a minute, while this is working? Does anyone have any questions about what I'm doing on Cricut Design Space, or I didn't understand the canvas layout? This is your chance to ask anything. Like, I'm sitting here. I have promoted on TikTok, on YouTube. I've promoted on Instagram. Like, whenever I leave, people slide into the comments and they're like, okay, so I have a question about that. I'm like, where were you? So here's your chance. How many people take time out of their day to not just do a tutorial and leave you guys hanging? And you're like, it worked for them, but it doesn't work for me. I'm literally giving you everything. And if you understand it all, and the between 5 to 8 of you that jump in, if all of you understand that, or you're just learning, or you're absorbing it now so that when you get this kind of machine later, you're like, oh, I get that. I don't know how it works with the silhouette. I don't have any other. I wanted to not get a Cricut so badly because I remember getting the very first Cricut that ever existed. I want to say this was back in like 2006, 2007, 2005. I don't know. And this was like, it was cute. It was cute. Okay. And I had no idea. I was hitting it like a caveman. I'm sure cavemen are much smarter than we even make them out to be, right? But I was not understanding it at all. And now it's like, oh my gosh, what else can I do with this? Oh, what else is that? Mine's an Explore Air 2. I don't know if that changes how this works next to the Maker 3. I've heard from friends like it's the exact same. They have both and they know how to do both. If you end up getting a second one of these, what I have is I have 3 iPads, not by choice. I have a mini that Greg got me because I travel sometimes, and I've already lost my bigger one from somebody stealing it. So I was like, if I have the mini, I'll feel like I can carry it around in a purse. The reason I left it for 5 minutes in a car, tucked away, hidden, and somebody stole it in 5 minutes to 10 minutes of being in a store is because it was way too clunky, because I had a really big like metal case on it. And I left it in my car because I was like, we're going to run into this thrift store and run back out. We were looking for an outfit to wear to a wedding while we were traveling. And they knew exactly what to do. They knew exactly, I think they had already made us a mark, right? They were following us from the get-go. And so that one got stolen, and I told Greg if it wasn't so clunky, I could have left it in my small purse. So he got me a mini years later, just this year, and this happened back in 2020. So now that I have a smaller one, it's great, but now I can use it to print on a second Cricut if I ever got one. Just saying. This one landed in our hands at $40, you guys. $40. Somebody just was over it. I think they got mad. Like I said, it's probably not the machine. But also I got a second iPad that was really cheap on Amazon on accident, thinking I was buying the mini. And then there was a big mix up, which we won't go into. And I was like, you know, like, I guess I'm stuck with this because they won't give me my money back. So I guess I'm just going to keep it. So yeah, you can always take an old iPad and convert it just into doing stuff like this. All right. Remember when I said, don't hit the unload button? We might have to cut it again, but also it's a great time to test it. Maybe you have a different transparent vinyl than I do. So you can see right here, I can't lift it. It did not cut fully through. It cut a little bit, but not all the way. It's not just the Scotch tape. It's really spotty and it's not coming off easily. It should be to where you lift this and it just tears beautifully. Down here, I'm going to check a sticker. Usually the sticker sheets start to come up, but they're not great. Like they rip. And I can tell if I can't bend this and have it just peel up, then it's got to go again. So the settings, everything stays the same. What do? Britney Spears it, okay? Hit the C one more time. Okay. I take it off. I hit the C, be really careful. I tuck this down because now I know I'm on my second round. Let it think for a second. And watch, it won't even go to the guidelines. It already knows where it is. We haven't unloaded it. It's the same project. It's like, oh, you just want me to do that again? Bam. Now, when it gets to the edges, maybe at 3 rounds out of the 10, you go, oh, it's starting to lift up, and you start to kind of lift the paper and you realize it's peeling up easily. Just hit pause and then cancel it, kick it out. You don't have to do the whole project from beginning to end. Maybe you noticed just the top left corner one wasn't going and you just want that to cut again. It's going to go through all the motions a second time. I'm so glad that this helped. I know I'm a visual person and I'm a hands-on, like I need to do this myself. You can tell me till the cows come home and I'm going to be like, I don't get it. Don't understand. But once I've done it, it's good. Also write down and have it maybe like on your Cricut, on the back of your Cricut. You could write down when it's a vinyl and just be like, what did I tell you guys? I put washi tape. We did more, and I left it on fine point blade, even though I'm using the deep cut blade. Again, it doesn't know. You have to tell it that it's using the deep cut blade. If it doesn't know what it is, it's just going to default to whatever it does. And then over here, you could do like transparent sticker sheet. And once you learn them, you're just going to keep doing them. Transparent sticker sheet right here. It needs to be set to sticky note, sticky note, less pressure. And the deep cut blade, if you have the deep cut blade in there. I've never tried it without the deep cut blade. I can't tell you that it'll work or won't work, whether it's in there or not. And then ×2. And then that way you have all your info every time you go to cut until you get it down like a science, like this girl. It'll be great. If you're like, I don't want to sit there a whole second round. Are you kidding me? I want it done the first time. Maybe you need to do 20 cuts around. And maybe you just hit it a second time and it just does the characters again. Whatever works for you, great. If you feel like you want to come back and give back to our community and say, hey, I figured it out, Eva, it's not sticky note, put it on XYZ. And then I'm like, oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Now I only have to sit one pass. But like I said, it is not affecting me that I've noticed because I have so much work to do outside of this. I just set it, forget it, like the George Foreman grill, okay? Also not sponsored by George Foreman. I hope you guys are like learning something you didn't know, even if it's just to the tape in the corners. Maybe it's, wow, you can hit the C button again. Like, I didn't know you could do that, but you can't hit the unload button. I learned that because I tried to use the deep cut blade for a hack. They were saying that the Maker 3 can use the deep point blade for cutting out like thin pieces of wood that, you know, Cricut supplies. But I was like, I heard you can do it on the Explorer too. And this is before I knew anything. So I probably could go back now and try again. But now I understand the machine because of this, that like I had learned then that you just keep hitting it every single time you hit the C button. You don't hit unload, you just hit the C button and it'll cut around that wood piece again. Then you hit the C button and it cuts around it again. But also, I didn't understand pressure. I didn't understand material settings. I didn't understand any of that. And I was in beta mode. And beta mode took away a ton of options. It wasn't offering me a lot of stuff. Like, I had no idea how to do kiss cut sheets because in beta mode, it took things away. So that's why I'm like, avoid beta if you can. Use what you know. Wait for them to figure out beta from professionals that know how to use it, and then they'll give their feedback, and then they'll probably fix the things that they didn't like. So as I'm watching it, I can see it's almost over. It's about time for the rectangle. So we're gonna go through rectangle mode, and then we're gonna do our Cricut sheet. Let's talk about the lamination for a minute, okay? Lamination paper, people have tons of tutorials on it, and that's fantastic. I also didn't know about the corners being covered with tape until more recently. That's when I realized my little piece of tape under the light wasn't working anymore. I also found that this really adds on to the thickness. I'd probably have to do like 3 or 4 passes to get this to go through. Now, I've seen a lot of my friends use matte paper and put this on, and it works like a gem for them. And if they ever want to share, we'd love your knowledge. We'd love to know how you're doing it through laminated pieces. But also another reminder, the thickness of all these different things you can buy and get and add on, and the different brands, okay? I now know I wasted a Cricut sheet thinking, okay, I'm gonna waste this Cricut one, which is probably super lame or something, you know? Oh my gosh, my best friend is on. Marnita! I didn't know my bestie was coming in. Aloha! Thank you so much for stopping by my live tutorial. Wow, this is gonna remain in history. That's my bestie. All right, so sorry, we get very excited to see each other. We love her so much. So the Cricut machine, the Cricut paper is so thick, it's like the transparent sticker sheet, which you guys are gonna see in a minute. But to add the laminate to it made it even more difficult, and you can see how irritated I got, and I just started cutting them out. But this made it like double thick, more than the transparent sticker sheet. So I don't know, it might be that I'm not using a little bit thinner vinyl. There's definitely a difference in the weight of the vinyls from Cricut to this. This one is, wait a minute, where did our Cricut one go? We just had it. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys. This is the Joyiza one. Love, very light. And this is the Cricut one. And you can kind of see this one waves a lot more. You can hear it kind of bending. It's very flimsy. The Cricut one actually holds up more, and it's much more thick. It just doesn't go as much. So maybe when I was testing this out, I didn't use the right paper thinking, oh, I don't care if I throw the Cricut paper away. Well, the Cricut paper ends up being really nice. So if you end up with anything from an order recently that says Cricut on the back, those are actually really good stickers, but it does take 2 passes with the Cricut paper. And at this point, I need, again, you're going to throw it away. You just want the stickers to be for, sticking on like a paper, a calendar, an agenda, whatever it might be. So here it is going around another time. And look, I'm going to kind of lift it and be like, oh, look, it's actually okay right now. What do I do? To get it just to kind of stop cutting, I hit pause and I eject it. Now I can fully eject this one because I know that it was pretty okay with the first die cut, but it's not the greatest. So there you go. That is why you let the Cricut do its magic twice, because that's so much easier than cutting it with scissors. You accidentally cut it wrong. You try to cut it right. It's not going to work. You can see there is no lines going through the back. This is so thick, guys. It's like, don't be afraid to go a second time, especially since we have it on less pressure for sticky note. It's going even softer. And then I know this because I've printed so many of them now that is going to be the key. And remember that negative space I was telling you guys about? I did it with his little tail. I left a little negative spot, so when you peel it, it cuts the little character tail out, but I would have been fine had it been solid as well. So do think about how you want to set them up when you're leaving negative spots on your page. Another thing that you need to know, and I don't want you to be alarmed, is there's a lot of this like film on it from it going back over it. It's basically tiny little bits of the plastic. I usually just give it a quick wipe on my pant leg or whatever and just kind of dust it off. You can also buy like something that I got from Daiso. You can buy something that does this. Do not, and I repeat, I even tested this for you guys, do not use a lint roller. It will stick to the transparent. I know it seems like a duh, but hey, I got to test things before you guys do, so you don't have the same ideas. I was like, I wonder if I roll a lint roller over it, if it'll kind of pick up just that. It peeled up and fogged up all the characters. So just kind of dust it. It's not going to ruin anything. It's just a little bit of the fragments that are left behind from the edges. But yeah, it should peel up as easy as that. If it's not and it feels like it's getting stuck, I was a year ago. I was last week when I found out about going twice and these settings to get it to go so well. So I know I have probably some of my subscribers that ended up with my new sticker sheet. When they go to peel it, they're going to be like, it's kind of stuck. I didn't pass twice. I only did it once. I peeled a few of them. They felt decent, but they weren't great. They did not peel up with ease. And I was like, no. So this is a transparent sticker sheet. Guess what? Guess where this is going? To my Critterosity fam giveaway. That's right. So if you want to follow on there, again, Critterosity is me main. It is me main. I don't know what I was talking about. It's my main account. We're going to cut the Cricut sheet last before we head out. So if there's any questions, any thoughts, any regrets, let me know. I can't really help you with the regrets, but maybe I can help you cheer up with your life. But I don't know. It's all learning, and my main account is Critterosity, I was saying, but it's all learning all the time. Just because something works one day with Cricut, don't get too comfortable. Be ready to think of something new, because every week it seems like something happens, or I have to calibrate again, or, like I calibrated 2 days ago and now I have to calibrate again because it's cutting my lines off. So don't be afraid to switch things up, try some new things out. All right, so this is the Cricut brand. Nope, she lies. She's such a liar. All right, this is the Cricut brand right here. Okay, I forgot we cut the vinyl with our new little characters that we put on a sticker sheet. I had made this one prior to that. All right, this is the Cricut vinyl, not transparent. You don't need to cover anything with tape other than if it's not sticky on the mat anymore. It is time. It is time to, for me, this heat transfer tape, amazing if you want to use washi tape or you want to use Scotch tape. You just can't really recycle the Scotch tape. It just sticks too much to it. It's not very tacky. It's too tacky, I should say. Kind of like me, and it's tacky. Thank you so much. I'm just letting you guys know the Cricut sheet, you can literally leave right now if you have no other thoughts, questions, regrets. You have to do the exact same settings as, same settings as our first matte vinyl. That was washi sheet. It's more, and then you leave the blade as is on fine point, but you do it twice. So not the transparent sticker sheet settings. I know you're probably like, well, why not? Because this isn't as thick as the transparent sticker sheet. So if you're doing like deep point blade and all that, it goes through the back. I've already tried it because I thought, oh, it's thicker, so I should use the transparent sticker sheet. Wrong. It didn't work. I had to do the washi sheet setting like I did with the first vinyl one that we cut out of the two characters. And then basically from there, where is it? There it is. From there, you just do it twice. And that's Cricut brand. This one just needed one pass. This is why I love this brand. If anyone needs something on a matte paper, nothing with transparent, I can do this in one pass, easy. This is the Joyiza brand. Cricut, I needed in a pinch when I didn't have enough and it wasn't getting delivered fast enough. They delayed my package. I had to go back and go run to Michael's Arts and Crafts and do that. So it got me through it. I do like the quality of Cricut. I do. But it's 2 passes. So that's kind of stinky. All right, here we go. Once you're done and you've unloaded it, it kicks you back to this. There have been times where my Cricut sits on the spinning wheel and you're like, no. It'll kick you out and you just have to start from the beginning. So again, if you guys have any questions, there is a chat box. There's also comment boxes if you're not signed into your YouTube and you can't be part of the chat. And you can always leave a comment if you're seeing this in the future. Just know you can always ask questions. I try to check all the comments. I get an email alert. I'm able to kind of go back within 24 to 48 hours, but sometimes they do slip through the cracks. So if you do write me and you're like, I'm not hearing from her, come over to my Instagram, send me a DM, let me know. If you ever see Critterosity trading post, it is the only one I do not run, but it is run by the Critterosity fam who love to do trades and everything. So if you're looking for old sticker sheets that you really want to collect of mine, that's a great place to be in search of things. All right, so here we go. We go to all materials. We are going to washi. Okay, after washi, we select that, not washi tape, washi sheet. And there is a difference, and we go to more pressures because it needs a mass, and edit tools, just keep it on fine point blade. Okay, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to click on it, but just showing you guys, just showing you. All right, that means when the light's flashing, it understands, I understand you. Well, this is one where it has to run through twice, so I kind of get my postcard all ready. I place my hand very, very gently but firmly in the center. If you're off to the left, it's going to feed diagonally. So always kind of hold it right in the center and just help it in just a tiny bit. We're not cramming it in. We're just kind of guiding it. And then as soon as it's ready, you're going to see the Cricut light flash and it's ready to do its thing. So we're going to do that one twice. And then this tutorial will pretty much be done, guys. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. That is why I'm here tonight. I was here to work live, show you all these good things. It's going to do exactly what it did for the transparent sticker sheet. If you guys are interested in supporting me in any way, shape, or form, and you enjoyed this free tutorial, you can always consider just supporting me through going through my shop, critterosityshop.com. And you guys can make a purchase. You can order t-shirts, tote bags, canvases of my art, sticker sheets that you can actually customize. And what's really fun about that, just so you guys know, I know she's putting herself on blast. This is what happens when you guys don't talk to me. I want to share how to support me. Critterosityshop.com is also critterosity.myshopify.com. It's so weird. It wanted me to buy all these things. I was like, nope, just as long as the link leads there. All right. You can always go to custom inquiries and tell me what you're looking for, and it'll lead you just to a form. It also gives you some ideas of what you can customize. But if you know, like, I want to just customize something, I'm ready to go. If you scroll down, you're going to see customize it. All right, and this is everything you can customize on my shop. My little wallets are pretty much done. I talked to my manufacturer and she said, I'm sorry, I'm all out. And the people she gets them from are all done. They're out of business. So we're at the end of those. But you can customize buttons, all that. But let's take a look. First of all, look what I can start to make from home now. I don't know if you guys know this. Just please don't visit Toby the Squatch, okay? He doesn't know I'm using his address as a sample. I know, but he does live on Yeti Lane. Yeti Lane! Okay, I can now do address labels for you from home. There is no more need to go through a middleman, so consider that for yourself. Consider offering it in part of your business if you have a Cricut machine as, hey, I can make custom labels for you guys with my artwork. Kind of a cool thing. People do tend to forget about all these custom things that I offer. The other thing is sticker sheets. Okay, let's see where it is. It's probably on another page. Seats taken. Okay, well, the whole point of this showing you is to not show you. I don't know where it went. It is here. Maybe that's why it's kind of quiet, is people know where to find it. But it is in the new items. It should be here, which means I haven't listed it as custom. How dare I? Hold on. We're gonna fix this right now, folks, because I can't know. See, we have time to catch up and chit chat. All right, products, and I'm gonna show you while I pull it up. Sticker sheet. So you can do a custom sticker sheet with me where you pick out the different things that I offer in artwork, and you can choose if you want a really difficult layout, multi-design, or if you want more of a simple design with one or couple characters. Depending on the width, I can usually fit 6. If I can only fit this many, I usually try to fill those up depending on the order. And then if you want multiple designs, you could submit 5 to 6 of the characters that already exist by picking out their titles and putting them in at checkout. And if you ever check out my store and you go to check out, There's a notes section. Don't fill out the notes in each part because it will just keep deleting your note and you'll have no idea. Wait till the very end, have a little note started on the side or on your phone of what you're hoping to get, and then paste it when you're ready to actually check out. But what I have to do is I have to change this to collections. There we go. This is going in, customize it. That's right. Now we hit save. That's what happened. I don't know where it went, but that's what the dealio was. So now if we go and customize it and we hit refresh, sorry, there's a bug in here. Let's go to page 2. What's trending on page 2? See, I didn't put it in the right collection. That's it. Simple mistake. But there it is. Custom planner. You can do the multi-designs. It says 4 to 6 and then 1 to 2, depending on what the design is you choose. And then I flip-flop them around. And to give you guys an idea, there's one that I made that didn't do, I cut really badly because this is before I knew how to do this stuff. See how I filled those in? It was actually longer. I cut it and used the pieces. But yeah, when I first started cutting sticker sheets, watch. It peels nice there, but like some of them, they were stuck. Like you go to do it and it would rip. So that's the transparent sticker sheets when I first learned. Let's take a look at this one. What was wrong with this one? Yeah, this one, I taped it like 100 times trying to figure out how to tape it and find the border. See? I didn't know how to do that stuff. And these, they kind of snapped. They weren't like smoothly coming off. So they were hard to start. And then when they were this long, they weren't peeling very good. Some of them are doing good here. But yeah, I couldn't sell this one because I've got all this tape on the edge here. I was trying to find the border of it. Let's see what's wrong with this one. Well, you can already tell. The cuts are completely off. Do you see that? And I don't even, oh yeah, they do peel, but yeah, they were completely off the side. So that's what calibration's gonna do for you. Always calibrate your machine. You can see it cut his hand off of there. And then like, it was just completely shifted. The whole thing shifted to the side. So it tried to do a good job, didn't do great, but again, still usable. I can still put these on people's packages and help them smile, you know, from time to time. I was trying to find one where I started to cut it and like, it just didn't cut all the way through. This might be one. Oh yeah, see? You see how it's really stuck? And it's really hard to, like it's stuck right there. I can't even tear it. That's terrible, but not really because you can't even tear it. So it can't be terrible. But yeah, there were just certain places where I'm like, okay, I don't want the customer to get it and rip it. The bad place was right here on the tail. I'd go to like peel them when I was testing them. See, you can't even get it started. That's how you know it's a bad setting. See how it tore up the entire paper? It's supposed to cut, it was supposed to cut that out, so it was just the tail. But that's what I'm saying is like, it took all those tries. I didn't waste the paper because I can still stick this on something. But yeah, it starts to tear. The stuff will tear in half if it does start to rip and get one little tiny cut through it. So yeah, we're almost done with the first print. Did we hit it again? See, I'm already forgetting. I don't think we did. I think I pulled this away to put it there as my reminder. But again, before you unload it, you can always check the corner. Sometimes I'll do it right as it's going. I don't advise you to do this, but you can see it still got stuck. So you can always check it, and that's how you'll be like, okay, I didn't hit it. I need to put the C button again one more time. So yeah, when you watch that TikTok and you see the little Britney Spears reference and song, now you'll get it. Hit C again. Hit C one more time. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. This was 2 hours and 10 minutes. Like I said, it's a live. You guys can always come back, watch it, pause, rewind, get through my stories of whoa. Whoa. And if this cuts all the way through, I'll be shocked because these settings didn't work earlier and I had to basically run it a second time. So again, look at this. It is lifting pretty nicely. Now it's just going to be finding out if that die cut worked well enough to get them off. Also, I found with the Cricut, it takes a minute to get the sticker lifting, but once it lifts, it's actually really nice quality. Whoa, that was me. Got stuck there. I know, you're probably thinking, put it back, Eva, put it back. Okay, but you know what? Maybe I did hit it a second time and move that off because it's good. Sorry, dude. So you can hit pause. Maybe I did. Maybe you guys are going to tell me like, Eva, you hit it a second time. And I'm going to forget that I did that. But you can tell it's working. It worked. And you can see that this little piece wants to come off, but it's not. So, you know, if somebody notices it, that's fine. All right, that one worked good. If I did do this a second time, it's because I'm talking and I totally missed it. So that's funny if that's the case. Also, if I got this down with those settings to just cut it once, that'll be great to know later when I have to use the Cricut again. But I'm out of the Cricut paper. This was literally saved for this tutorial. If you guys had a good time today, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share the video. You can always copy and paste the link and use it in your Instagram stories. Let your friends know that want to be crafty with you. Also, check out critterosityshop.com. I also have a subscription. It is Art Hero Monthly, where you can subscribe every month and get cool things. I also have an Instagram subscription for $2.99 a month, where you help me get coffees every single day of my life, and I give you sneak peeks. I mean, that's how it works, right? That's what friendship is. I'm just kidding. But thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, I'm so sorry, I moved it to Sunday. Sunday I have a free sip and paint, so if you're on that and you put the countdown in your calendar, you can join us on Sunday. But it is also a live that I'm going to save, and it is a mystery character, so just saying. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your help and your support. I will keep getting better at this, and I hope you guys do too. And if you have anything, reminder, kindness is the key to all things. Just being a kind human helps us all grow. And when we're aggressive, it doesn't feel very good. So please be kind in the comments if you're going to share what things work for you, and try to be as descriptive as possible, because if you're not going to make tutorials, you're going to have to break it down for all of us, because we are visual learners. All right, you guys, have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon. Bye, friends.